그라가스와 함께라면 또 다른 변수가 될 수가 있죠. 분명히 들어오는 챔프들이 위협적인데 그거 한번 꽝 터뜨리면서 진영을 파괴시킬 수가 있고 접근 금지 만드는 데는 또 그라가스의 스킬 구성 면면이 살펴봤을 때 굉장히 좋거든요.
자, 띄우고 나그네까지 오고
잘 피했어요.
그리고
이거는 지금 제대로 안 들어갔죠?
자, 잔나까지 그래 괜찮았다. 캡틴
코어가 오히려 먼저
퍼블
왔고요. 킥서가 중간에서 커트 당하고 모르가나까지 왔습니다.
두명 전사. 2대2요 2대2.
생각보다 오래 안 깨져요. 자,
한번 붙여. 자, 캡틴
위험합니다.
코어가 잡았고요. 한 명으로 끝나나요? 자, 술둥이는 집어
이어가는
던져야죠.
자,
아니었어요. 르블랑 엑스를 윙드로 되고요. 자, 4대2. 자, 캡틴 잭. 거기 왜
글쎄요, 이거는
왜
저는 설마 했거든요. 여기 왜 내려?
네. 끝까지 추격. 자, 하지만 저 역으로 스코어를
잡았어요.
역으로 스코어 잡아냈어요.
그러나
윙드 살았어요. 자, 한 방. 윙드 대기 중. 자, 용체력.
자, 르블랑 반대로
가는 것 같죠?
르블랑 반대로 돌아요.
가야죠.
르블랑 탑싸움.
자,
초기화.
자,
빅선 싸움으로 바뀌었어요.
일단 잔나가 궁극기 잘 썼고요.
그렇죠. 전사.
근데 캐논이 건재하거든요.
네.
쟤네 건재하고
더블킬. 여기도 윙드 정면 이거는 윙드. 정면에서 썸데이가 막타를 넣습니다. 8대7.
그런 변수도 거의
이렇게 돼요.
이렇게 땡기고
이렇게 자신이랑 지워놓고요. 그래도 얘가 살았어요. 윙드.
그라가스가 죽긴 죽었는데 진짜 단단하네요.
네, 스코어 잘도 살아요.
그러니까 미니언을 이용해서 스프링 푸시를 하는 효과가 생기는 거예요. 이러면 퇴각해야죠.
네.
5스택 줘야죠. 그냥 5스택 줘야죠.
자, 전면 쭉쭉 빠지고 있으면 지네요. 자, 썸데이가
예.
썸데이.
다음 기회에
네, 다음이에요. 예. 그렇죠. 예. 그래, 그쵸?
제라스의 깃병 갑니다.
한번 안으로 들어왔는데
이거 슈퍼플레이.
잡았어요.
자,
이러면 두명 더
상황이 이상해지죠.
70조 두명
상황이
나오세요.
이상해지죠.
70조 두명 나오세요.
드래곤
네.
막을 수도 있겠는데요. 자, 아니면 이렇게 한 대씩만 툭툭 쳐도
맞았어요. 제라스의 첫 데스가
지네어의 축돌. 네.
첫 추가 탔던 제라스가 부서졌습니다.
그렇죠. 4명의 챔피언이 남겨져 있어도 못 막나요. 4명이 있잖아요. 4명이.
사도 있어서
네.
역도 안 쳐다보고
네.
포탑 계속 치고 있어요.
그냥 넥서스 때려요. 넥서스.
네.
캐넨 나는 나의 강함을 입증하지 않아도 된다. 입증한 캐넨.
마지막에 입증입니까?
생각보다 그렇게 세진 않네요.
그렇네요.
일단 뭐 조합적으로 보면 지네어는 확실히 라인전에서 강력한 챔피언들도 뽑고 조합적으로 시너지가 잘 나오는 뭐 럼블 자르반 리산드라 중심으로 그 다음에 시비르가 같이 보태주는 이런 조합을 선호했고 스노우볼 효과 때문에 헤카림이 앞서 나거든요.
이거 처음 싸워주는데요.
자, 승환이도.
뭐죠?
헤카림은 아직
헤카림
없습니다.
안 네. 못 오는 거죠.
픽서는
자, 여기서 한번
했는데요.
빅 네.
물론 원래도 케넨이
자, 한번 달려들죠. 제이서가 있거든요. 예. 김색깔 확 바뀌었습니다. 이거는 제대로 칩니다. 자, 강자 싸움.
예.
나는 하나님 팀이 비벼왔어요.
자, 사연사
자, 다 가야죠.
그림자 멘트.
네. 심리적으로 충분히 가능하고요. 자, 대기 중.
자, 캐넨도 옆구리 보고 있고요.
네. 이리시. 어디가 딜러들 어디 갔어요?
리산드라가
네.
아무것도 못했어요.
지네어 2명 어디 갔어?
여기까지
하나 더?
세조하니까 너프가
네.
되긴 했는데 저는 너프지 솔직히.
네. 들어왔죠. 갱방.
레이저가 레벨업
에로. 에로. 실비인데 뿔킬인데
다시 옵니다.
색깔이 다시 와요. 이거 뭐야? 서포.
왜 쟤는 말렙이야?
네. 말렙이에요.
누가 키웠어?
네.
정글과 CS가 키웠어.
그렇죠. 예. 우리가 챔피언이 키운 거 아니에요?
맞습니다.
시네어가 키운 거 아니에요? 네, 라이언스 키웠어요. 와, 이거 끝나는 거 아닌가 이거? 끝나는 거 같은데요. 우리 안 뺀다. 썬데이만 장벌
Today's matchup, CJ Entis, Incredible Miracle. 2015 Spenu League of Legends Champions Korea Spring.
Hey guys, welcome to Champions Korea. I'm Doa, that's Monte Cristo as usual, and today CJ Entis versus Incredible Miracle. Kind of a David versus Goliath situation. CJ's been looking like better than ever lately. IM's been looking kind of worse than ever, so it's gonna be interesting.
That's right, what you're looking at now too, this is actually Ambition's 3-year anniversary from his debut as a pro player. Back on the old MIG Blaze team, which then turned into Azuma Blaze, and then CJ Blaze, and now we're just down to CJ Entis. But he is one of the last men standing.
He is, man. I mean, it's pretty incredible when you think about it, too. You know what I mean? Criticize him as you may this season with his jungling, but this guy has been around playing at the top level longer than nearly anybody. And on IM, you've got Lilac as well. You know, of course, a little bit less success than Ambition has had, but still, you know, these guys have been around for a long time.
I think actually at this point his transition to the jungle could be considered pretty successful.
Took a while,
He's
but
been steadily improving over the course of the season. But I mean, just as a mid laner, he has been above average, very consistent.
Yeah.
To he ranged from good to one of the best here in Korea for many years, and has always been hovering around that top 5 in solo queue. So. He's had a good career, and he continues to do great things for CJ.
Yeah, and it is a really bold move, too, at this stage in his career to move into a completely different role as well, too. And he did struggle, but like you said, he certainly pulled things together. It seems like the meta really is starting to fit him a little bit better, or at least, fit the style of jungling that he's decided to adopt. And CJ, in general, looking really strong going into the playoffs.
That's right. And remember, guys, as you see on your screen right now, the finals, if you want tickets, go to facebook.com/OnGameNetGlobal. If you are going to be on Seoul, it will be at COEX Mall on May 2nd. So if you're in Korea, that's where you want to go to buy tickets. It should be awesome.
It will be awesome. A venue that has seen many esports finals over the years, and here are our standings. Of course, nothing's going to move here in our last week. Everything pretty much locked up, well, completely locked up. GE Tigers still solidly in first place in our first playoff match in our gauntlet-style playoffs is going to be Jin Air versus CJ. Then the winner of that will play SK Telecom, and the winner of that will get to face the GE Tigers in the finals. So as you can see, CJ Entus versus Incredible Miracle in a best-of-3 today. From the standings on the previous screen, you saw IM way down at the bottom, almost last place, just barely edging out Samsung. But honestly, at this point, and we've said it for a while now, Samsung looks like the stronger team, despite what the standings say. So I am kind of the bottom of the barrel in Korea right now.
Yeah, that's right. And in spite of basically I am starting 3-4 this season, they have lost their last 7 matches in a row.
Yeah.
They're guaranteed to go to the up and down matches and play with Samsung against the top 4 challenger teams here in Korea for slots in Champions Summer. And not only that, their last match win was against KT on February 7th, and their last game win was against Samsung on March 7th. So they haven't even won a game in over a month at this point.
It's pretty crushing if you're an Incredible Miracle fan. And I mean, I feel like this is really what we see from this team every season. You know, they're there, but then they just can't make it to playoffs. They're always kind of one of the more, worst teams. And now with our new format, they might just get knocked out completely. Who knows? Maybe we won't even see them in summer now.
Yeah, obviously they did have they started out stronger, but then they had the roster changes with
Losing Wisdom really hurt.
It really did hurt them, and they haven't recovered as a team. And Lilac continues to be exploited more and more as this season progresses as well, and he's definitely a major factor in Incredible Miracle's losses, unfortunately, while Frozen remains pretty solid.
Yeah, Frozen, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what happens if he sticks around with IM or if he maybe tries to go to a different team, because he's certainly kind of a standout right now. Let's take a look at our two teams a bit closer than we have already in today's match. And there is CJ Entus, of course, an esports dynasty here in Korea, and has had some success in League of Legends off and on. Some incredible veterans on this team, some exciting newcomers, and overall a team that I think could certainly take out Jin Air and then maybe even give SK Telecom a run for their money in the playoffs.
Yeah, and CJ Entus has won their last couple of matches against Jin Air and Samsung.
Right.
Before that, they suffered a pretty humiliating defeat to Mid Scion Double Banner of Command at the hands of the GE Tigers, but they've been looking good.
True.
And you know what's the most interesting thing about CJ these days is you'd say, oh, wow, well, Shy was playing all these tanky champions earlier in the season, and we know Shy's so good at zoning out the backline on these tanks. Well, this is a great meta for him. But you know what? He's been playing Kennen and Rumble in this last match, and they've actually switched it up to Blitz and Nautilus, more tanky support style picks, and then having Vlad and Cho'Gath, these very tanky mid laners. So actually, in this meta, strangely, it's been Shy playing the carries.
Well, what's been really interesting about this team as well is that it seems like everybody's champion pool just greatly expanded like a week after IEM. Ambition, of course, picking up that Sejuani, who hasn't. His Nidalee started looking quite a bit better as well, too. And our next player that we're going to take a look at, Coco. Man, this guy, talk about an expanding champion pool. A lot of new stuff from him, and he's playing it really well.
Yeah. He absolutely is. And as we see right there, the couple games of Cho'Gath,
Yep.
and then the couple games of Vladimir that he played against Samsung, and then Cho against Jin Air did very well. His Cho'Gath was real. Both of those champions were very, very good.
His Twisted Fate has been good. His
Yep.
Ari's been good. I mean, just in general, Coco has really kind of transformed since IEM. I mean, we go back to IEM a lot when we're talking about CJ and GE, but it really was a wake-up call, especially for CJ, I think.
Yeah, and just CJ in general was showing not very deep strategies. They didn't have very many tools to work with, but in the last few weeks they've really expanded and, like we said, switched it up. So Shy playing some more of these carry top laners, and of course Mad Life is outstanding Blitzcrank game in their last outing against Jin Air.
Man, I would love to see some more Blitzcrank today. That's one of the things that you only see come around every once in a while. I mean, today's another match where he could bring it out, but I think if anything else, we're pretty much guaranteed to see some Nautilus play.
Yeah, I hope we do. And of course, is Annie still considered a major threat? Many teams choosing to ban that champion rather than face Mad Life on it.
Yep.
And CJ has put a premium on that. They first picked it on several occasions now.
Well, that's because Mad Life is back, man. The Mad Life of old has returned. The god of grab, gracing Summoner's Rift once
I'm
again.
holding my judgment on that, Doa, for just a little bit.
You don't understand how it works. If you want to get excited about CJ, you have to do it immediately.
Oh,
because
that's
it
true.
doesn't last very long. So you have to enjoy it while you have it, you know, because you never know when it's just
You
going
have
to be gone and
you
there's
have to
nothing
double
to be excited
down
about.
on the hype.
That's right. That's right. It was very small hype windows with CJ. And there is an incredible miracle. Wow, Frozen getting IM shaved into his head. Will that lead them to victory today, though?
Chusin already looks depressed.
Right. Well, I mean, it's hard not to be on this team, and it really does go back to, losing Wisdom to those wrist issues earlier in the season. Ares was the replacement, of course, and he's new. He's, obviously inexperienced, and man, teams have been punishing that quite a bit, and it opens up the door to punish that guy in your screen, Lilac, even more because, frankly, he's just not a very good top laner right now.
Yeah, and I think that one of the reasons why IM has fallen off is that people have really discovered how to abuse this team, and that's by camping Lilac. I mean, in the last couple of matches, he was 0-7-2 versus Someday. He was 0-9 against Duke. He just dies repeatedly in 1v1s, and then the mid laner and jungler constantly camp him in the top lane because they know they can keep him down pretty easily.
Well, the 1v1s are the thing that really stand out because that doesn't really happen to anybody else in this league. No one else really dies 1v1. Kube doesn't really even die 1v1 anymore. And then when you think about that for a second, you know how bad things have gotten for Lilac.
Yeah, it's not good. And IM continues to play with a lot of scaling compositions. In their last game versus KT Rolster, they tried to run a Juggernaut. It really was not very effective. They like to play Kog'Maw. They like to play Cho'Gath. And these are not, while they're meta-appropriate champions and meta-appropriate compositions, IM simply can't live long enough without accruing a giant deficit in order to pull off the scaling comps.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to dial back on that a little bit because KT just crushed them in the early game last time.
I really hope so. I mean, like we mentioned earlier, Frozen really kind of the only bright spot on this team right now. And, Sunstar with that Cho'Gath just looking pretty awful. Or not Cho'Gath, with Kog'Maw looking pretty awful. So IM kind of needs to go back to something a bit more aggressive. Maybe something just a bit more tanky in general, too. But with a more aggressive ADC. I don't know. What do you think? Is there anything these guys can do right now?
I mean, I'd put Frozen on some more carry assassins or do something like that, but he usually gets the LeBlanc band against him. People know that he's a threat on that champion. And yeah, maybe put Sunstar on Lucian or Corki, something that has a little bit more of mid-game punch to it.
He used to play a lot of Lucian, and he did it fairly well. I mean, Sunstar's been, average to a little bit below average all season long, but his Lucian was probably the best champion we saw him play.
We'll see if they go back to those roots tonight. Definitely, the scaling has not been working. The Urgot hasn't been working. The Cho'Gath hasn't been working. I mean, nothing's been working for a couple months now, ever since Wisdom left, when they started to find an identity for themselves with a big roaming gank squad of Tucson and Wisdom. Hasn't reappeared. That synergy between Tucson and Ares hasn't had time to develop yet.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is when you have that really intense two-man ganking duo between your jungler and support, when you switch junglers like that, that really hurts your support too, because that's kind of his whole play style out the window as well. And Tucson has kind of been struggling to find himself, kind of falling back to some of those more passive picks. Yep, there's the IM. And I mean, frankly, it's going to take an incredible miracle to take out CJ today.
Well, you gotta double down if you're gonna be going to those up and down matches.
Yeah,
Show
well,
a
they
little bit
are.
of pride while you do it, I guess.
Yeah. You know, and I feel like they're always a team that is always on the edge, right? But they always make it back in. So I'd be surprised if we didn't see them get back into Champion Summer. But if there was ever a time where they would be knocked out completely, I think this is when they're the most vulnerable.
Well, given the quality of the challenger scene right now in Korea, I wouldn't be that worried if
Oh,
I
yeah.
was IM.
Yeah. We'll see. That'll be interesting to check that tournament out or those matches when that happens a bit later. Mad Life, though. If we can all, like, channel our inner mental energy on Mad Life right now and, like, try to get him to move his mouse over Blitzcrank and just click it. Let's all do that.
Well,
Let's
considering
join
that
together.
this match doesn't really mean anything for either of these teams, their fates have been decided
Yeah.
already for the playoffs and for those up and down matches. So they can have a little wiggle room to play around with champion picks like Blitzcrank.
Well, and of
if they
course,
so choose.
You know, CJ, this is their last match before they face Jin-Air in the playoffs, and they're not going to want to show anything before they do that. So, yeah, I think we're going to see things that will be pretty fun today. I hope so, anyway. And here we go. It's time. Picks and bans for game number 1. CJ Entus versus Incredible Miracle. And there's a Cassiopeia ban against Frozen, of course, known for that champion, and Xerath as well.
But Xerath not so much of a threat
Not at the moment. Not in the current
any
meta.
longer, and CJ Entus showing that they know how to deal with that Xerath pickup quite well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you even have Gank by Mom, you know, possibly the best Xerath in the world struggling, you know it's time to maybe think about a different pick in the mid lane.
Okay, well, Hecarim removed for Shy. Now Gnar banned from Lilac. Are they going to first pick the Maokai here? Gnar and Maokai have been go-to champions for Lilac. It could also be a Rumble pick if they're trying to deny the Gnar as a possible counter pick in the laning phase.
I just wonder if we're going to see more of the Smite top lane today.
Probably.
It's so good right now.
KT really doing a good job of playing out that strategy the last time we saw it. And there is Rek'Sai taken out.
Yeah, with how that top Smite Hecarim did yesterday and how Shy has done previously on Hecarim, I think that's a good ban from IM to get that out of the way. Now we'll see what CJ decides to use for their final ban. Maybe just something like, I was going to say Thresh, but Sivir works as well too.
Bit surprising there that they would be that worried about the Sivir pick. See if they set themselves up for a first pick Sejuani or what direction they want to lean. No LeBlanc bans yet either.
Yeah.
That's a little troubling for both of these teams. There it is.
Okay. Ooh, Diana would be an interesting first pick.
You're pretty bold. Coco
would.
had a good game on Diana, but couldn't quite pull it off in the end against the GE Tigers. But he got quite a few kills before CJ made some positioning mistakes in the late game that caused them to fall behind. And Kalista still up also. I would imagine this is going to be the first pick.
Very true. Now we just need to see the Kalista Blitzcrank lane. Oh, maybe going for the first pick Sejuani instead.
Considering how good Ambition is at Nunu, I think that Kalista should be a little bit higher priority here for CJ Entus.
Yeah, but will Sansar play? Wow, okay, first pick Urgot instead.
A lot of champions left up this game because of the Gnar and the Sivir bans, and the Hecarim ban as well. These are not common bans that we see. So because they're more pocket bans, now Lilac almost certainly going to take away that Maokai.
Well, that's the only champion who's been able to do anything of note on.
I agree, but Maokai Kalista, two very powerful champions to give over. Of course, you can take the Sejuani now if you want it, and with Frozen's Urgot play in the mid lane, of course, this is a flex pick space.
Boy.
Might well take it as an AD carry champion. And Shy could play that top lane Rise. Certainly Marin has been playing a lot of it in solo queue.
Well, we could see Ambition take that Nidalee to the jungle, perhaps. Oh, yeah. There we go. Ambition on his 3-year anniversary. Will he play a Cloud Templar tribute game with the Amumu jungle? And Shy might get Rumble, which is also completely terrifying. Yes, Skarner, lock it in.
Just trolling Cloud Templar right now. So Nunu and Rumble, good combination for CJ.
Yep.
Champions that they were very successful with in their last match, and really shying away from that Sejuani, surprisingly.
Yeah, well, Ambition, like you mentioned earlier, is very comfortable on that Nunu. But it does give the Sejuani over to IM, and that's, you know, one of those champions that's just so strong, and it's so easy to play right.
Yeah, but if you run double
see.
80 carries with this Nunu, if you have that Urgot in the mid lane and then have something else at the bottom, you do get more targets for that Nunu to Blood Boil. So I think it may make a little bit more sense. They've got great poke already,
True.
and they have good initiation with Equalizer from Rumble, so they don't necessarily need a Sejuani ult to engage. And
Would you consider an Ezreal in the mid lane, an Urgot at ADC?
you could do either way.
All right.
Depends on what that mid lane pickup is, but both Urgot and Ezreal will function similarly in the mid lane. But they're going to have to show a matchup right here, and of course,
Whoa, okay. IM doing the IM thing. I wonder if that's going to be, I was going to say
Support
Jungle
Aurelia.
Nautilus, but yeah, will be support Aurelia. Unless it's support Maokai. Tucson has played both,
that
so.
is true. Touche, sir. I'm pretty sure it's support Aurelia, though. And
never
the
know. It
reason,
could be
the
support Lee
reason,
Sin.
the reason why is that gives you a lot of kill pressure in the lane with Callista.
Yeah, it does.
And you can throw that Aurelia really, and she can get into the back line by using Blade Surge after she gets chucked into the team. And last time we saw Tucson on support Aurelia, he played it very well, but it just is terrible in the late game. It's like a worse Leona, basically.
Yeah.
Much worse Leona.
Yeah, the support Aurelia, I mean, it's been tried a lot, but I just have never been on board
Yeah,
with
it's
it.
been
I
tried.
think it's-
After that game, it was also tried many times in China.
Yeah, I just think it's bad.
It is bad. I agree with you. You have to get such
come on, Mad Life,
an
do it.
immense
Do it.
snowball to make it worthwhile, Doa, that I don't see it. And we could see Jinx here, a champion very rarely cited in Korea.
Well, with the Nunu jungle,
Yep.
could work out just fine. And it's a bit of a cocky pick. I think it shows just how much CJ thinks they have advantage-wise in the 2v2. But if they go with this Vlad, that means that Space is going to just take the Urgot then.
Okay.
That's
So
what they'll do.
the Nunu actually not going to be very useful in terms of Blood Boil this game with only an Urgot to Blood Boil. That's not great. But we'll see if they can make it work. Mad Life will be playing that Thresh again. And Coco was so good on that mid lane, Vlad, last time around.
Looks like we may have a Kennen in the mid lane for Frozen.
Just trying to harass this Vladimir early. Is very difficult for Vlad to get away from Kennen too, because even if he pulls, he'll come right back up into the slicing maelstrom.
Yeah,
After
the all-ins
pull.
are strong.
And we could see reworked Kassadin as well.
That would be interesting.
Of course, Kassadin was very good at trading with Vlad, especially early on with the Q magic shield, but instead could be going for that Xerath now. I just don't think this is a good pick in this meta. I think that
Well, you're going to be
CJ's going to be so tanky
Yeah.
that this Xerath hasn't done anything. Even games where we've seen huge Xeraths like GBMs, he just hasn't been able to carry the game.
Well, we saw the best Xerath not be able to do it. I don't know if the second best Xerath is going to be able to. Yeah, like you said, late game, who is this Xerath really going to do damage to?
All right, and you're going to get Abyssal if you're CJ in this situation. You're
course.
going to get Spirit Visage onto Vlad, so aren't going to be a whole lot of targets right here.
Yeah.
And it looks like it will be support Maokai, actually.
Oh, okay. I actually like that a lot better.
So-
Given the choice between the two, I would pick support Maokai any day.
Also, it's worth noting that this is what OMG does in China, or at least was doing earlier in the season, is when there is a rumble on the enemy team, you play support Maokai. Oh, they swapped. Okay. Well,
Oh.
regardless,
Ooh.
just because his ult damage reduction is good, even if you don't have a lot of farm on him to deal with the burst from the Equalizer. But
Yeah.
it will be Lilac on Maokai, and the support Aurelia makes a return. We'll see if CJ wants to take a chance with this 2v2.
I mean, we've seen these support Aurelias get like 4 kills, and it just doesn't matter. You're never able to get the items to actually turn it into a carry.
Right, and you're going to build Righteous Glory, and
Yeah.
by the late game, you don't have the CC that Leona does, and you don't have the damage. So you really, really have to get a huge lead for support Aurelia to work.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just kind of have like one long stun sometimes, and
Right.
you're kind of just bad otherwise.
And it's hard to play into Thresh, too, because Thresh
Yeah.
can just flay you out of Blade Search. So I don't
Exactly.
know.
Well, good luck to IM. Here we go. CJ versus IM, game 1. And here we go. CJ Entus versus Incredible Miracle. And CJ with a pretty strong tank comp. I am, you know, picking things that are proven to be not that great, picking things that are a little bit outdated. Yeah, this team is just in shambles right now.
Well, they're really hoping to have a strong early game. They want to snowball with this Lee Sin and the Aurelia and the Callista, but CJ is a team that, you know, honestly, early aggression hasn't been that effective on dealing with CJ. If we look at CJ's faults, it usually arises that they're split up and they approach objectives improperly and in the late game, or they make bad Baron calls. If we think back to teams like Samsung that have tried to all-in CJ early with things like mid Jarvan versus Vlad or a lot of their other matchups, they're pretty patient and resilient, and they will just wait for their power spike to hit.
Well, if you think about CJ versus Jin tried very hard to be aggressive early on, and CJ just used it to trap them and turn the game around really early.
Yeah, CJ's a smart team, and it's difficult to... This is not the team I would pick to use this strategy against, though, I will say that.
Well, we'll see if IM can pull it off. At least Ares is having a good time, it looks like.
All right, well, it will be a 2v1 up in the top side. So no lane swap incoming from CJ Entus. Instead, they're just going to take the Krugs. And in fact, CJ anticipating that there will be a 2v2 in the bottom side. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing these Krugs right now. They'd be trying to freeze. So they're going to be quite surprised, actually, to see that there's a lane swap going on. So
yeah.
Shy actually already there getting some experience, though. Meanwhile, double jungle going on for Incredible Miracle.
I suppose you really can't blame them with the kill pressure that Callista Aurelia would have theoretically in the 2v2. Yeah, I'd be surprised, too, if I was CJ.
I think IM tried to call the lane swap right there, but they didn't find it. Mad Life just walking up, checking out, see if he can delay. They did give Lilac that blue buff just because, of course, he has mana. It's going to be much more useful with that.
Yep, wow, already a lot of damage onto Shy. May not have been expecting to see them up there.
Nope, and they also have a freeze. It's pushing away from him, so they have to do something about that. Coco's still with that 100% mid rate. He has 2 games on it, though, and both were against Samsung, so don't get too excited about that.
I'll try not to. You've tempered the hype, thank you.
That's what I'm here to do, Doa. Just destroy hype.
The hype wrecker.
That's what they call me.
So effective at destroying hype that you create a wake of hype in its destruction.
So the hype stream behind me.
It's like the infinite loop of hype and anti-hype. The wheel of hype.
All right, well, we're doing a good job of dodging a lot of these abilities. Did go boots first on Vlad, so.
Yeah, generally what you see in a matchup like this.
Shy able to get a lot of his experience from the wave, though, even if he hasn't been able to farm very well. He's trying to break the freeze right now with his Flame Spitter. And we do see Lilac down in the bottom side. Mad Life has come up top. Ambition here as well, anticipating a gank as he pushes out. This is really good timing by Ambition and Mad Life. So
wow, is Ares just going to give this one up? Doesn't want to. Well, he'll
Consume
have to.
and Smite.
Yeah. Ares, though, not even wanting to fight it. Do you feel like a Lee Sin can 1v1 a Nunu that early?
No.
Not really? Okay.
Especially not when they don't have pressure. Shy and Mad Life could have easily just walked down into the river right there. There wasn't really a way for him to safely contest that, so wisely backing off. And this will break the freeze up in the top side. So good map movement so far from CJ Entus. And Space zoning out Lilac just a little bit, but Lilac not too far behind in farm yet.
Using the correct Urgot skin, the giant enemy crab god.
That's right.
Except no substitutes, guys.
He knows what's up.
Yep, that's right. In my opinion, there are no other Urgot skins.
So very patient farming from CJ Entus. And Incredible Miracle yet to do anything with this supposed early game team that we're seeing them play out, and they didn't get the 2v2, so their kill pressure not great right now. Shy, of course, with the level advantage as well from the time he spent solo before Mad Life decided to show up, but CJ just happy playing conservatively right now. They know they have the late game advantage, no need to go crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're really under no pressure right now at all. I am getting some deep wards in, and You know, you and I have talked about this before. I am wards quite a bit, especially Ares. They do kind of split it half and half between jungler and support oftentimes. But the problem is that they have these wards and they have this information, but they oftentimes really don't use it at all.
I think you're absolutely right. That is a big issue with them, is that they don't make the proper decisions based on the information that they have. So it can be pretty difficult.
Ares getting a little bit of counter jungling done though, with those wards for now anyway. So he's got that going for him.
I guess he does,
Yep.
Doa.
Leaving one wolf to tell the others what happened and warn them that Lee Sin is coming back someday. Oh, and a gank in the mid lane onto Coco. Slowed down a little bit. Coco just backing off. Ambition fine, not even needing to burn any summoners.
Yeah, Ambition can't do this right now,
No.
though. He doesn't know where Maokai is. He just saw the gank in the mid lane, and Lilac definitely acting appropriately right there. Comes in, sees that Ambition was up to some shenanigans in terms of going for that early dragon, and will prevent it from being taken in spite of the fact that we did see a lot of pressure coming in. So that was actually well played by Incredible Miracle, denying that.
It's kind of a fairly obvious thing to watch for, though, and a Nunu doing an early dragon, so I'm sure they had their eye out for Ambition disappearing in suspicious times.
Indeed. He won't be disappearing for a while yet.
Yep.
He's getting followed around as well.
Just wanted to see him eat the Grom. Get to the Grom. You know, in Korea, they always use the verb for to eat when they take buffs and things like that. But with Nunu, it's actually literal. He actually does eat them.
I don't know if this Lee Sin is safe doing this dragon right now. This is pretty
Guess we'll find
risky.
I think he's going to get away with it.
Now, he knows that Nunu's on the top side, but looks like he actually is surprisingly going to get away with it.
That was a good timing. It's a pretty narrow
Slowly
window.
chipping it down.
Yeah.
Even though his mid and top lane are going back right now, he's going to get away with it. So a bit
Wow.
of a misplay there from CJ, not knowing that was an option. Now, them listing the dragon isn't a big deal at this point in time.
Do you feel like they could have gotten another ward or two down in that bottom jungle to prevent that from happening?
Well, yeah, especially since they were pushed up right there. They may not have had wards in the inventory. Of course, Mad Life spent a lot of time up in the top side, but
He did it right after the Rift Sculler expired too, so that was
yeah,
that was
it was
good timing
clever.
for
It
Ares.
was good.
Yeah, there we go. Using the wards for once. Nice.
It was good. They got the information they needed about Ambition's location, and then we didn't see Coco or Space respond to it.
Yeah.
Just hand over the blue buff right after that. But this is not going well for Incredible Miracle, just because they need a big, big gold lead. And they need to start fighting. They need to start scrapping soon, because the more this drags on, the tankier that Nunu and Vladimir and Urgot are going to get, and that's not going to be a good situation for them.
Well, I've got a feeling they're going to start now that they've got that 2v2 against Space and Mad Life. But Space, already level 7. It's not exactly going to be easy.
No. No, it's not.
Yep, in fact, they're already pushing him back. I believe, yeah. Yep, wow, Tucson getting poked pretty hard after coming in. That's really kind of about it. Bit of a passive game, but again, you know, I mean, I am not really finding too many opportunities to get more of a lead, and CJ just sitting back and waiting.
Yep.
That's all they need to do.
That's all they need to do. So I am better try something. And they did sneak away that first dragon, but honestly, they need to fight. I mean, they got to start fighting here. They have to start making some plays, because they can't just sit around and wait for CJ to outscale them. So, you know, using that dragon to force a fight or bait CJ into a fight may have been the smarter course of action than just going ahead and sneaking it away, because that 6% isn't going to help you right now.
Waiting for CJ. That sounds like it could be a new Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, interesting. They actually just gave the blue buff over to Ambition.
Well, snowballs for days.
Intentionally making that decision. Bit
Yeah.
odd, especially considering, okay.
Oh, there we go. There's the all-in. Wow, and it works. First blood goes to Tucson. Meanwhile, Space could be in a bit of trouble as well, too. He's still got the flash. He's still got the summoner heal, but he is getting low. Teleport coming down to try to save him. He flashes. He uses that heal. Here comes Shy with the equalizer. Great slow. Softstar in trouble now. What a turnaround for CJ. Can Space. Wow, he's got 4 legs. That means he can dodge twice as fast. And he gets out of the ultimate. Meanwhile, Coco just solos Ares in the mid lane.
Wow, how did
Wow.
Ares die right
No
there? So
kidding.
Frozen made his move down to the bottom side. Looks like Ares was just trying to farm and got caught out of position.
I guess so.
Got all in right there. So, I mean, IM makes a play, but they do it with when they have a teleport disadvantage. Lilac not able to respond at all, so quickly turned around in the end. And that's a kill on Shy. So if we take a look at how this went down, Madlife, yeah, that's a lot of damage. You have to be so careful. Tucson can really punish you if you do that, if he's maxing E. And then Space tries to get out right here. A little bit of a delayed port, but Maokai nowhere near the Rumble. What a great ult right on landing. And then Ares here. Ares was not looking at his screen. That's
No.
what happened. And then he just dies straight up to the Hemoplague pop.
You know, it was really crucial, too, that Equalizer kept Sonstar out of range from using that rend on Space, so all those spears ended up not doing anything.
Yep.
It's pretty crucial.
Indeed. Well, Ares was looking at that fight in bottom lane. He definitely was not looking at mid lane and got caught off guard, and there was no backup right there. And Coco knew that Frozen was immobilized and unable to help, and because he was in his ult. He could see it. So, really good timing from Coco. Great all in, but not sure what Ares was thinking.
Well, again, you know, he's just kind of inexperienced. That's been the story since he's joined this team and started playing and getting chased back into his own jungle. Snowballs for days.
Not doing a whole lot of damage, but Nunu is annoying and sticky
Yeah.
in that way, so you have to. It's like Coco's just going to take the Raptors right
well,
now.
yeah, he sees Ambition chasing Ares around. He's like, all right, well, I guess I can just go take this. Nobody's going to stop me. Why not?
Especially with Frozen back as well. It's all going very well for CJ. Antis Abyssal Scepter already completed for Shy. We'll see probably another one on Coco eventually. And even though Space died, still has that higher CS total, got an assist, so he's still pretty even with Sonstar, even though he's still waiting for that tier to fully stack. Ambition just being annoying.
Yep. Coming down through the Tri-Brush. Oh, Tucson coming in. But I don't know if they're going to get another opportunity like they had.
Interesting. Lilac going for Righteous Glory instead of the Rod of Ages. Okay.
Oh, nice hook onto Tucson. He's going to get pulled out with the Fate's Call, though. Sonstar saving his support.
Just trading ult for ult right there.
Yep.
One less thing you have to worry about later on is getting knocked up with the Fate's Call. That is, I mean, the combo between Aurelia and Kalista is really strong. There's no doubt about that. But
That is worse, though, for IM than CJ, because CJ doesn't need to make kills out of that or
All right, here
anything.
we go.
Teleport coming down. They're going to try to make a play onto Ambition, collapsing on him in the river right now. Tucson coming in as well. Ambition, oh, he flashes, still totally caught. CJ, whoa, he gets out on the lantern, brings in a member of IM, but it's still going to be 2 kills for Incredible Miracle.
oops, that actually just got Bad Life killed.
Yeah, it did. Well, he tried. I'm Nunu and I'm helping. I brought friends.
The Lee Sid Q, the Resonating
Yeah.
Strike, and the Twisted Advance dragging 2 members of IM right next to Mad Life.
Whoops.
So they lost 2 instead of 1 due to the fancy tricks they wanted to get done, but it looks like CJ will be able to trade a turret for the Dragons, so certainly not the end of the world. Coco also will be taking some wraiths, but IM gets another Dragon.
That was a pretty unfortunate situation there for CJ. I hope we get to see a replay of that. That was pretty funny.
oh, I killed myself.
He's like, last time I give you the lantern, man. See, that's what you get when you try to save teammates instead of just like steal their kills. I hope you learned your lesson, Mad Life.
At least he didn't get Space killed also.
Yeah.
Space
That's
did
true.
stay back in that situation.
If this was last year, Space would have already been like in the middle of the 5v5 when that started. Or in the middle of the 1v5, rather.
Well, in spite of that, though, CJ maintains a gold lead thanks to that turret, and Coco starting to run away with a CS advantage as well. So, as well as Shy, actually.
Oh, all the lanes actually are starting to go up a little bit in CS. ADC, top lane. Space is extremely tanky.
So's Tucson, though, actually.
Yeah. Well, he's got Face of the Mountain done already. So he does have that. Mad Life opting for the Sightstone, of course, first. And this is what we've been seeing from this support Aurelia, is that you don't really focus on getting that Sightstone quickly. You get Face of the Mountain fast, of course.
Yeah, pretty much no sight stone. I bet you he'll go. Oh,
Yep, wow. Nice combo from Frozen, taking a bit of damage away, or a bit of health away from Coco, which he'll
Coco
almost
should've-
immediately get back.
Cougar should have expected that, though. He just went to pick up blue, and he didn't see Xerath.
Yeah.
Xerath is usually going to be sitting in that brush waiting to
I think
shoot
he just,
you.
honestly, I think he just didn't care. He's like, oh, I'll just heal it up immediately again. Doesn't really matter too much.
goes back, finishes his Will of the Ancients. So CJ feeling fine. Maybe a slow game, but everything going CJ's way right now.
Yep. And if we know anything about CJ historically, that will probably continue. CJ has never been a big-time early aggression team. They've always kind of survived in the mid and late game. Sonstar pulled into the box, lots a lot of burst damage on him. Position reverser, and Sonstar's still alive. No, he gets taken out by Madlife, who gets a well-earned kill there.
Yeah, burned a lot of summoners for that one, but they do make it work. Ambition comes around. They want to take this turret right now.
Yeah, well, both summoners burned on Sonstar as well, and Tucson just with not any up at during the fight anyway. And like you said, they'll get the turret too.
Caught up by that hook, and with that initiation, there's just not a whole lot they could do. Sonstar didn't even have a chance to use Fate's Call right there. Instead, they will lose the tower, and CJ just going to push the minion wave right up to tier 2. Ambition there just on the side, making sure that they have that blocked. Meanwhile, Ares will get more deep wards in the top side jungle of CJ Entus. I mean, the vision again for IM is great. Look at it.
Yeah.
Great vision.
Well, that's what we're used to. You know, like we said, they ward quite a bit. They get the wards in the right places. They just sometimes they have two problems. They don't get them down at the right time, and when they do have them down, they don't generally use it. Now, they did use it earlier to take Dragon, but not a whole lot otherwise. Ares over the wall onto Madlife. He's just going to bring Ambition in. There's a Lantern you want to take, and I don't think that's going to be an execute. Nope, not with the Chilling Smite, and there's an easy kill for Ambition. Ares getting a little bit too deep there with the counter jungling.
And speaking of, he knew that there were recalls out of that bottom lane after the tower was down, so you have to be suspicious. He also saw Ambition recalling with the pink ward right by his blue buff, so he knew that there was a possibility that somebody, in fact, 2 people could have been walking through there. He decided to try and take the Gromp. Anyway, Ambition ended up actually getting the Gromp with a snowball before he took the Lantern.
Wow.
And that was it. So this is an example. They get wards down, but they don't use the information that they acquire from said wards to make intelligent decisions.
That mid turret is already dead, as you can see as well, and that would put CJ up 3-0. And so
it's
just
a lot of
kind
money.
Well, yeah, they're playing so patiently and passively, just slowly bulldozing their way across the map.
It's Cinder Hulk Lee Sin, too. This is not what you need in this situation. Your hope is that you're using Callista, Lee Sin, and Aurelia to blow up a single target, and
Yeah.
it's just terrible.
So you're thinking you should have gone with Warrior then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Clearing faster really isn't going to help too much at this point, is it?
I mean, if you don't want to kill somebody with Lee Sin and Aurelia, don't pick Lee Sin and Aurelia. Don't.
That's what they're for. Well, they're trying to kill Space here. He uses a position reverser. Teleport coming in as well. Nice snowball to Tucson. Space can't quite get out. There's a kill for Frozen. Meanwhile, Shy in a 1v3 in the backline. So they'll take out Aurelia, but Shy's going to nearly go down. Still alive for the moment anyway. Lilac finishes him off. Meanwhile, a kill for Coco on that mid turret, and he's just going to keep pushing. So trading a couple people in bot lane for a turret and some damage on the tier 2 as well. And I think CJ's perfectly fine with that.
Well, if they don't lose another tier 1, then
They might lose this one.
And Ambition might die.
And they're going to lose Ambition. And, oh, wow, gets out on the Lantern. And this means, though, that CJ has, we'll see if they can get the Dragon off of this.
Yeah, they've had 40 seconds to set up, but CJ not be playing very respectfully right there. They did TP Shy down, and Lilac's TP came up about 2 seconds after Shy's did.
Right.
So they were able to respond, even though they started out the fight very briefly with the TP advantage. But 5 versus 4 down in that bottom side, and you see it starts out right here. Space all by himself. I mean, it was a good engage, legitimately. Tucson set up with the Blade Surge and the Fate's Call, so he has to react right there. Ambition thinks he can get down there, but he gets killed immediately by the Xerath ultimate, and they catch Shy out at the same time. These tanky members of Incredible Miracle. Shy not able to deal enough damage yet. He doesn't have a Leandri's Torment at this stage.
Yeah. You know, I will say, too, that Tucson, again, I feel like he played a pretty good game on support Aurelia before. He's playing it now as well, but it's all about that late game. There's a hook onto Tucson. No follow-up, though, from CJ.
Yeah, no criticism for his support Aurelia. He plays it very well. It's just not a good pick.
Yeah. CJ CJ coming in to maybe stop this Dragon. They've got that equalizer. Will they do it? Dragon getting a little bit lower. IM trying to take it. There's a stun end to Ambition. Not a whole lot of follow-up as far as the poke goes. And CJ just slowly pushing forward. They're going to try to take the Dragon now. Frozen still poking with that Q.
They lost the Ren stacks on the Dragon. Now
Yep.
it's going to reset. So Ambition very tentatively poking forward right there. He does have that Smite Consume combo, so they want to try and take it with that.
Oh, they're going to try to, and Nunu does get it. IM goes in. The nice equalizer from Shy, and immediately just blowing people up with all that flame. Tucson low already. Sansar taken out by Coco, who got into the back lines very quickly. He's going to pick up the double. Mad Life takes one as well, and there's the cleanup. Frozen on the run. There's the flash. The hook through the wall. Mad Life is back. I don't care what anyone says. You can't tell me. You can't tell me that Mad Life isn't back, guys.
Oh,
because
man.
that is Mad Life.
Wow. He could see the Xerath there, but that does smack of the Mad Life of old.
Sure
Getting
does.
being so confident to make that flash play.
I can
and
feel
then
it in
follow
my-
up, and they're going for Baron, and they're going for a tier 2 at the same time.
I can feel it in my bloodthirsty support bones, Monty. Mad Life is back. And like you said, they're going to get a couple big objectives
man.
off of this as well.
Well, if Mad Life is back, the world will tremble, Noah, because that
It
is
already is.
that is something that we haven't seen out of him in a long time.
Yeah, let's watch that fight again. Just look at this equalizer.
Look at
that
this.
Shy
Shy's
gets
equalizer is so good. Look at this.
Yeah.
He waits for the lineup during the hook, hits both carries. Sansar tries to hop out of that one, but there's just no getting away. Sansar, by the way, went for QSS second.
to. No damage on that
That's
guy.
right. He has no damage, so it was very easy for Coco to get in the back line, but a beautiful fight. Oh, my Mad Life.
Oh, my Mad Life indeed.
Jeez.
Wow. What can you say? What can you say? Hook City, right?
Yeah, and that hook,
Uh-oh.
that wasn't the best Mad Life hook we've seen, but
No,
it's
still
the
good.
confidence in going in with the flash on that one. And the fact that immediately afterwards, CJ made the right shot call as well. 3 onto Baron, 2 onto the turret. They really maximized their game. What a beautiful play from CJ Entus.
Yeah.
From the team fight to the hook to the decision-making afterwards. So perfect.
I totally agree with you as far as that it's not so much the play itself, it's the confidence.
Yes.
And that's what Mad Life was lacking, you know? He's got it back. Sure looks like he does anyway in the last few weeks.
Now some split pushing with Vladimir, or something very difficult to deal with. And Coco, 250 CS here at 22
Wow.
minutes.
Multiple turrets going down.
Huge CS lead thanks to the jungle camps he took. He's got 3 core items already, and he's split pushing with the Baron buff. Easy closure for CJ. CJ playing this out so clean.
He did very well in that last fight, too. He was immediately in the back lines all over IM, all over Sunstar. And
Yeah, he was very good. The coordination.
oh, there's a Hemoplague activated. They got it onto Ares and Tucson. Meanwhile, they're going to turn it around onto Coco. He's going to pull for a little bit of health, just zoning. It was a zoning engage. They're going to get the turret, and it looks like they're going to get that inhibitor as well, too. Space just poking with that Acid Hunter. Acid Hunter, Acid Seeker.
Acid Hunter.
Acid Hunter. I was right the first time. Great. And that's an easy inhibitor now for CJ. Yeah, I think this one's going to be a pretty quick game.
Coco, great game so far.
4-0-0 on that Vladimir. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Coco's such a streaky player, though. That's the problem, is that when he's good, man, he looks amazing. And he'll be good for a few weeks. Remember how good he was at the beginning of the season, just rocking Faker on while he was playing Ezreal.
Right.
Into that Ahri matchup where Faker had the Ahri, and of
Well,
course CJ just coming out with that surprise win early against SK Telecom, and then his Jace play was sensational.
It
He
does.
just fell apart for a while.
Well, it does make you worry a bit, too, because, you know, we're reaching sort of the end. A nice attempt from Mad Life. He's going to come in. Oh, that was a little bit overly bold. Or was it? Lantern, he's going to bring in space. Can they get the position reversal? They do. Onto Sunstar. Another great play. Ambition slowing everybody down. He's going to take that kill with the absolute 0. Goodbye, Tucson. And they're going to keep chasing. Coco stopped for a moment. Ambition put back, but there's another hook from Mad Life. And Lilac, all the tankiness in the world, is not going to save him.
Oh.
Equalizer traps Ares. Man, the plays are so good. They're killing even me.
Wow.
It's going beyond IM now.
And CJ so confident in the follow-up, too. Everyone playing around the lanterns and the hooks, following Mad Life in. CJ
Yep.
looking absolutely fantastic in this game. They are going to have to back off there, though. They did get a little bit ahead of the minion wave on that advance, but they picked up a few kills for it, drag it up in a minute and a half. They can go ahead and wait for that one. They can do whatever the hell they want.
Yep.
They have
Well-
a 12,000 gold advantage. Shy is an absolute monster right now. Did pick up the Leandries already.
CJ really does have the highest highs and the lowest lows, don't they?
It's quite impressive.
We've seen both this season, and right now they're on probably the biggest high they've had yet this season. But the question is, will that last into the playoffs?
I don't know what to think about this team, Doa. They are very confusing.
It's hard to believe that they're good, but then you see games like this. I think for me, the big difference is seeing Mad Life play like this. We haven't seen Mad Life play like this in a year or more.
But really, I think the biggest CJ conundrum right now is if you think they're good, they're bad. But if you think they're bad, they're good. So you can never
Sure.
actually predict properly.
They'll always try to prove you wrong, I think their coaches just sort of like watch, what the analysts say. Whoa, another max range hook onto Lilac. Position reversed, and the next position he'll find himself in is the grave.
It's the CJ law of inverse skill. Whichever you think they are, they will be the opposite.
That's true. That's true. Well, the push in the mid lane now. Baron buff gone now. Another hook onto Ares. Wow, more damage with that Acid Seeker, Acid Hunter.
Space didn't want to use his ult right there.
Guess not. Oh well. You don't want to do it. Well, he already used his ult.
Yeah,
Remember,
yeah,
he
yeah.
used it against Lilac.
Sad.
So maybe he did want to use it.
I'm sure he did, actually.
How dare you judge? Leave Space alone.
Hasn't he been through enough?
That's true. The best AD carry of all time. CJ coming into the mid lane, and they're going to take out this inhibitor turret fairly easily, and the inhibitor will be soon to follow. And will IM try for one last team fight here? CJ doesn't need to pressure this. Ares coming in. Immediate position reverser. Great catch by Space. Going to go in right onto Sansar. Lilac locked up in the back lines. Not doing much of anything. Tucson and Frozen so low. Flash ahead from Coco. Is it enough? Not quite, it looks like. Coco in a bit of trouble. Zonia's, can he outlast those spears? Oh, nice stun from Frozen. Catches him right at the end of that one. And Space single-handedly pushing everyone back. Meanwhile, they just decide to take down Maokai in the bot lane. Why not grab another turret or two? Blows it out clean. But man, you saw Ares come in and try to make a play with that Lee Sin kick, and Space immediately hit him with that ultimate.
Was quite amusing.
Yep.
And of course, Frozen's ult not able to secure a kill right there.
Not
will
quite.
get lanterned out of the base to save him from any possible follow-up. All three inhibitors down, Baron up in 35 seconds.
Well, CJ also, I believe they've got that 3 dragons right now. Is it 3 or 4? They've got 3 at the moment, I think.
They have one.
Oh, well, I'm way off then, I guess. 1. That's what I meant to say.
Now
Now
they
they
have
have 2. Getting closer. Counting is close to math, so.
All right, Ambition has
Not bad
Banner
at
of
that,
Command, so that's happening. Even though Banner of Command is actually a terrible buy in this situation because there are no cannon minions to promote.
That's true.
You can only promote melee
promote,
and ranged minions, and that's
yeah.
nowhere near as good as promoting those cannon minions, especially when you have Baron buff. So, a questionable purchase.
They've got 2 Banner of Commands, in fact. Shy has
Oh,
one,
he
too.
just got one too.
Yep.
All right, well,
Why not?
the trolling is real.
Yeah. Well, why not, They're just practicing for other games where they might need them,
They were so mad about GE buying double Banner of Commands against them. They're like, we will pass the suffering onto another team. You too
That's
will
right.
lose.
They're
to
cleansing
double Banner of Command. Except that
by-
was a good strategy, and this one wasn't.
By buying this, though, they're sort of cleansing themselves mentally, right? They're like, there. Now we've done it to somebody else. There's
But
another
see,
easy
CJ,
Baron.
that's how the cycle of hate just continues forever.
Just perpetuating it
Yeah.
for infinity. It's a vicious cycle, Just ask Baron. He just pops up in that same place every game and keeps dying. Nobody knows about vicious cycles like Dragon and Baron do. Well, CJ should be able to close this one out pretty soon. There we go. Some big beefy melee minions, I guess.
See, it looks good, but it's actually bad.
And it looks cool, yeah. That's all that matters.
Oh
Whoa, what
my.
an equalizer. That was insane. The Hemo Plague hit basically everybody, and CJ just destroys IM. Not even close. A perfect ace. Triple kill for Shy. Shy and Coco just eliminated that
Wow,
team.
Shy's Rumble is so good. And by the
Yeah.
way, those Mega Minions actually were wailing on Lee Sin and helped
Yeah, they did.
kill Ares at the end right there.
Wow, GG, and CJ Entus takes a very quick, very expectedly fast game number 1. But
What patience from CJ. They played out that early game pretty well. They had that one mishap with Shy T being into the bottom lane
Yeah.
when Coco wasn't there in a 4v5, but ultimately their map play significantly better. They played a patient game, and that is wow, their team fighting is really good.
yeah, Mad Life's plays have been really good. This team is really exciting right now, and I always feel afraid when I'm saying that about CJ because they could just be awful next week.
Yeah,
But,
you never know.
but right now they're really good.
I hope this continues into the playoffs, so it would
Me
make
too.
things a lot more exciting, especially that match against SK Telecom, unless Jin
Oh,
Air
yeah.
can rebound from their lackluster second half of the season.
Well, that's a big question, right? You know, we've got a bit of a break until the CJ Jin Air match, and we'll see what Jin Air can do. But right now, it's all CJ. Victory indeed for CJ Entus and Mad Life. Mad Life is back, guys. He is back. I'm convinced
I really
now.
hope it's true, Doa.
It's true. He's back right now. And that's the only thing for CJ. He's back right now. I don't know what it's going to be like in a week, but he's back right now.
Certainly had a strong game in that last one,
Yeah.
despite giving up that first blood.
Well, we'll see what IM decides to do in game number 2, if there's any sort of plan they have, but I think they're just going to kind of play this one out and get ready for the up and down matches. So when we come back, game number 2, guys, CJ Entus versus IM. Will Mad Life play Blitzcrank, hopefully? Come back to see if he does.
You mean Bard?
Maybe Bard. We'll see. We'll be back. And we're back on Champions Korea, and Madlife gets the MVP for game number 1. 86% kill contribution. That's actually really good, and he had a really good game.
He's been raking in the MVPs recently.
Yes, he
Great
has.
hook on Sonstar right there. They didn't show him giving up first blood, but, you know, whatever. They actually got more kills out of that in the end, but really nice hook right there. And then, of course, hitting the hook on a line. What a fantastic equalizer Hemoplague combo as well. Sonstar does cleanse out of the Hemoplague using the QSS, but Coco still picking up the kills, and
Wow.
what a baller.
That was a pretty amazing play right there.
Also,
yeah.
just a follow-up, too, with the
Yep.
flay onto the lantern, and then the decision-making after it, and this is where he got himself killed.
No, Nunu, I didn't want you to bring them.
He did get himself killed right there, but it wasn't exactly his fault. And Ambition
They saved him there.
out at the last possible second, and then another great lantern play, and everyone just following up on Madlife's engages so well.
Well, this was one of those games, too, where everybody performed their job perfectly in team fights. It was really amazing team fighting all around from CJ.
Yeah, CJ certainly on a hot streak right now. And they look good heading into the playoffs. See what happens in the next game. Look
at
at
that.
Space right there, disrupting the insect kick.
He knew it was coming.
Great reaction, too, by Madlife just to hook him.
Yep. Yeah.
Here's Madlife. He's going to save Space once again. Space getting himself in a little bit of trouble right there, but
Flash flay on the two people, too.
meanwhile, Super
Great
Minions
box.
beat Ares to death in the back line.
Yep. Yep. I think Super Minion actually got the killing blow onto Sonstar in that fight, too. But, you know, of course, it ended up going to Shy. But, yeah. And it's been a tough season for these guys. And you know, the big thing for this season is going back to when they lost Wisdom and they had to replace him with Ares. That's when things really went downhill, and they never got better. They just kept going downhill.
I am actually able to take wins off of Jin Air, teams like that, KT, teams that have finished higher than them in the standings earlier on in the season, but after losing to after losing to Samsung rather, it hasn't been good for them.
Yep.
And Tucson and Frozen, I think very good players on this team, but
Well, like you said, it's been over 2 months since they've won a match and over a month since they've won a game now.
it's rough.
Yes, it is. It certainly is. So as we head into game number 2, we'll see if there's anything IM can do at all to try to take a game off of CJ Entus, and we'll see how seriously CJ feels like playing in this one. See if they want to go home early or if they want to have a bit of fun.
Wow.
Well, Coco has been very good on that Vladimir.
He's been exceptional.
Yeah.
Probably the best Vlad that we've seen so far.
I agree.
And that is taken out of the pool immediately. That's our first Vlad ban, actually. I think Coco has enough other tools that maybe you don't want to ban that. Wow, they're banning Thresh too.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, just play Blitzcrank or Bard. You know,
The problem is they're leaving up so many power picks in the current situation that these pocket bans don't make a lot of sense. If Coco may be able to get LeBlanc right here. That could be very dangerous. You're probably not going to first pick LeBlanc if you're Incredible Miracle. And there's LeBlanc being banned actually by IM. But so many options left up for CJ.
oh yeah.
Hecarim, they'll be able to play this game
Well,
if
Shy's
they so
going to get
choose.
something good, for sure. Shy's going to get a great champion. Coco's going to get a great champion. Callistoban, all right. They're going to take the Hecarim away. Well, Lilac hasn't been terribly stellar on the Hecarim in the past. See what he can do. I think you might as well just grab that Maokai for Shy, or you can get it later too. Or that
I think
Rumble.
they're just going to take the Rumble
Yeah.
immediately. And it looks like it will be Ignite instead of Smite for Lilac. Shy, the Kale always a threat. We have seen top Kale in solo queue as well from
Well, the last
Marin.
time,
or not. Yes, from Marin.
The last time,
No, from
Shy-
Trace. Sorry, Trace has
Okay.
been the one playing it.
He was a Kale main way back when, I think, wasn't he? Maybe. Anyway, Shy did play Kale in a preseason match. That was the last time he played it
Very well. too.
competitively. Yeah, it was awesome. It was huge. But we might see him play this Ryze, and Ryze is a perfectly good pickup right now.
It's really good against Hecarim too because he actually can't get onto you at all. He tries to use his E and you just rune prison him.
Yep.
You hit him in the face with a few Qs. So they don't have to commit to that pick right away though. So I think taking the Sivir and the Nautilus is going to be a bit stronger.
Yep. This is probably gonna
CJ
go to
banned
support.
Sivir last game, and yeah, almost certainly support Nautilus.
Well, Ares will get this Rek'Sai. But Sejuani's still open. They're going to take the Kennen, too. Okay. Well, that's a
That
lot
could
of
be a support
engage.
Kennen.
It could be, yeah. In fact, with IM, I'd almost...
I would think it
think
is.
it probably is, yeah.
Frozen may decide to play it as well. Taking the Kennen away when you have the Sivir and the Nautilus already showing. Probably pretty smart by Incredible Miracle, though, because you have a big threat of an all-in. And Shy
Yeah.
has played that Kennen recently and did do very well on it. But I think they're going to go... I honestly think they're going to go for this Ryze, Doa, in the end.
Are we going to... I want to see the Annie Brand bot lane, the CJ special, the CJ Troll special. Come on. Make it happen.
I'm sorry. Woong is dead.
He's dead. No.
It's not gonna be coming back today, I don't think.
Maybe Shy's Jax is going to come back today.
That
though.
would be really bold. Jax
be
is
huge.
not a great pick in the current meta.
Well, they don't have
All
anything
right,
to
Jax
lose.
Nunu, just do it. Screw
Yeah,
it.
they're doing it. All right. The fans going crazy. I mean, Shy built his career on Jax. Like, this is his champion.
Yeah, there has been some Jax play around the world recently. It's looked pretty bad, honestly.
Well, if anyone can do it, it'll be Shy. But
At least he
again,
has a Nunu for the Blood Boil. I mean, he will be if he can get into that late game status. But this is styling right here from CJ Entus. I doubt they would play Jax in a playoff game coming up.
scary looking team coming out of IM as well, too. And I think you're right. I mean, CJ has nothing to lose. They want to just kind of put on a show for the fans, and the fans want to see Shy's Jax.
And Hecarim I think he's simply a stronger pick in the current meta right now. Of course, both these champions do like to pick up items like Trinity Force and work with that, but even so, the Jax isn't going to be able to have a distinct split push advantage versus Hecarim, and Hecarim just able to do so much more
It was much better
in terms of
engage.
flanking and
Yeah.
much better engage.
Ooh, Cho'Gath taken. So it looks like we were right.
Support
That will
cannon.
be a support cannon, yep. Oh, and will we see the new Zillion? I would love to see it, actually, because his Q is buffed so massively. Maybe we'll see that in Nivea.
Yeah, it's a difficult skill shot to hit that right now, though. So
Yeah.
I think it would be surprised. But, you know, if they want to play Nunu Jax, why not just cap it off with the old Zillion, Doa?
Yep, why not?
Play mid Zillion.
Kicking it old
Just
school.
Every egg in the Shy basket.
Well, you can really speed Jax up, too, you know, going into fights as well. It's not invisible, but it's still cool.
I think Orianna, a much safer pick instead of that Zillion. You still offer utility and protection for Jax.
And it's really good counter to the engage that might come in as well, too. I do like the Orianna. I'd love to see 80 Malzahar as well, too, but I don't think we're seeing that. Maybe
Are they actually going to pick Malzahar?
It's possible. They have nothing to lose.
Okay.
There it is. Malzahar is going to go to the mid lane.
Well, this hasn't been seen since the glorious days of many reason, Doa.
Yeah, I know. Man, it's been a long time. Long time.
He does have percent damage for Cho, however.
When everybody jumps in, too, on this IM team, they're going to jump right onto that percent damage as well. So it's going to be interesting. I feel like CJ has put together a composition that can potentially handle the engage from IM.
Yeah, it's going to take a while to scale for Malzahar and Jax, though, but I am also looking at a scaling composition here. Now, they have Kennen Graves. That's a really good lane in the 2v2. Or is Kennen able to harass because he doesn't have... He's pretty much resourceless, does have that energy, but of course it comes back immediately, so you can
Right.
constantly put down the harass, and the burst at level 6 from Kennen Graves is going to be pretty scary for CJ to deal with. But they do have a spell shield, and Nautilus is tanky, so they can survive. But CJ Entus has pretty poor engage with this composition. Jax is pretty much going to have to jump in first.
It's going to be pretty great. CJ...
I wouldn't use the word great, but
Well, we'll see. CJ obviously saying, hey, you know what? We're going to play one for the fans. That's the approach here for this game. They don't need to win. They know they're better anyway. We'll see what they can do. And, you know, if any organization has a history of trolling in matches that aren't terribly important, it's CJ. Let's see what happens in game number 2, guys. It's time. And it's time. Incredible Miracle versus CJ Entus. And CJ looking to close the regular season out with a 2-1 after they lose this game to IM because of their silly picks. But it should be fun. And they could still win, too.
I'd still put money on them, even though their composition doesn't
they're
make
just-
any sense.
They're so much better than I am right now.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
thing.
the cheese is real. Oh boy. Oh, they saw him. They saw him coming in. Mad Life could get the hook though. Sunstar, they're gonna try to get a flash here.
Coco started
come in.
Q, so they were hoping try and get a silence off and nail somebody, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen.
I suppose generally you start with E on support Nautilus as well. You don't start with the hook.
Right. Yeah.
But if you catch someone, maybe you can flash hook them. Start Q anyway.
The plays. Well, it looks like Shy may be actually starting a Raptor camp right here to get a quick level 2.
All right.
Did skill is E first. Some extra damage. So, interesting. I didn't even know you could do this with Jax in the top lane right now, but
Huh.
that's cool. Makes sense.
You know, this is a, you know, even though the results of the season as far as these two teams, or the regular season as far as these two teams are concerned is set in stone, it's a big deal for IM actually, because this conceivably could be their last game in Champions.
Yeah, probably not. I really
Probably not,
think that's
but it could be.
unlikely. It could be. Well, they're going to go for the Gromp right here. Will be given over to them.
Yep.
Considering Nunu has enough sustain on his own. Mad Life will tank that one out. And they split experience. Meanwhile, Tucson and Sonstar just take the small Krug, so level advantage will head over to CJ pretty quickly right here.
Yeah.
And Lilac takes the Grump, Chai takes the Raptors. Everybody goes back and teleports into the top side.
Pretty much.
Exciting times here in League of Legends,
Yeah,
where
I'm just
everybody
looking-
jungles at level 1, except for the mid laner.
I'm just looking forward to seeing what Coco can do in this mid lane besides die to a gank from Ares. We'll see.
Level 2 gank, the cheese is
Yep.
real, but of course Malzahar is quite immobile and very
very
vulnerable.
gankable.
Yep.
We're about to see. There's a flash knock up onto Coco. He's already fairly low. They get the silence off, and that is going to be a dead Coco. Yep. Saw that one coming a mile away, didn't we?
Well, Frozen had the W, so there was just nothing that he could do. Gets the silence
Yep.
off, and they have the damage with the Ignite there. And now Coco, not only did he die after using Flash, so now he's just extra gankable in the mid lane.
Yep.
So he can anticipate Ares coming back. So nice
Wow.
level 2 gank right there at 2.5 from Ares.
I feel like that should be IM's plan in this game, is just
Yep.
camp Coco and make his life miserable.
Yep. Well, they have to slow down Shy, though, is the thing, too. And Shy has taken Smite.
Oh boy, did he just take that?
Yep.
He did.
Ambition,
Ambition.
You jerk. Well, he read that well. He knew
rogue.
he hadn't been doing that blue buff, so Ambition getting the drop on him. Smite from both of our top laners, by the way. But Smite
Oh, you're
on
right.
Jax. Very interesting.
Yeah, well, it helps him do that early Raptor camp.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's good. But and the challenging Smite, of course, going to be very good on Jax as well.
Yeah.
He'll be putting out a lot of damage with that, with some heavy attack speed, and what his item build will be.
What do you think they'll maybe do some split pushing as well with that then?
Oh, yeah. Both Hecker and Mad Jax big in terms of split pushing, so should be most of this game, in fact, is
There's a large Voidling.
split pushing duels.
Goodbye.
It dies in such a sad manner.
I know. Poor Voidling. All it wanted to do is eat minions and people. Is that so wrong?
And void monsters, perhaps.
Yes.
We're talking about Cho'Gath in the mid lane.
Shy. This is going to be one of those games where Lilac dies 1v1, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's harder on Hecarim, but it is Shy's Jax versus Lilac. We'll see.
The fan service Jax.
Fan service Jax, it's true. You know, I think it's time, and we'll see how this game goes, but it is IM's last regular season match, and I feel that it is time to award the Long Panda Award to Lilac. I think he's the undisputed champion.
I think it doesn't matter how Kuve plays tomorrow.
Yep,
I think it's already been locked up. I think you're right, Doa.
I agree. I think it's too late for Kuve. He can try, but I think I'm going to call this one a little bit early for Lilac.
Yeah.
So congratulations on his upcoming Long Panda Award. We'll look forward to seeing the Lilac note next season.
Oh. Mad Life not going for an engage right there.
Well, if you throw your anchor into that, you just get electrocuted. Nobody wants
is.
that. Yeah.
Metal's far too conductive.
It's really dangerous,
to deal with
actually.
that situation.
And he's kind of like got the sea theme going, so he's also wet. There's also water all over, so It's quite dangerous. Oh. He just wanted to throw it between them. That was Mad Life's intent all along. He's like, 3 points, it's good.
Coco and Ambition going for a dragon. Of course, with that consume and the percent HP damage.
Yeah.
Have an easy time getting through this. Ares may come in for an attempt to steal. Coco not level 6 yet, so he can't lock this down.
Yeah, here comes Mad Life, though. They should be able to secure it with that. Mad Life coming in, just making Ares' life miserable. Here comes Space as well. They'll get the dragon. Will they get away? Looks like IM may want to fight this. They're going to flash ahead. Ares trying to make a play here. Mad Life turns around on him. Ares in a lot of trouble. Went way too deep. Gets low, and will he live? No, Coco picks that one up. A kill for him, and now Sonstar in a bit of trouble. He's going to quick draw, dash away. Tucson escaping despite being hit with that snowball, and wow. That boomerang blade doing a lot of damage, and that was so close.
Wow, really good kiting from CJ Antis right there.
Yeah.
And I am over pursuing it, especially Ares, and he gets caught out, hit by the Ignite, and then finished off by Coco's Q.
And
Shy in the
Shy.
meantime, just farming up right now. Hecarim, Lilac using that opportunity, just go ahead and farm up in the jungle of CJ Antis, so good use of his time. And looks like we will see the Skirmisher Saber for Lilac. Shy opting for the Sheen first.
Yeah.
So it looks like he'll
he's
be
gonna
going
build
Trinity Force into Cinderhulk, I would assume. Probably a little bit better build if you want some more damage here in the early game. So he should be winning duels with Lilac right now, at least in, well, not duels, but trades at the very least.
Maybe duels.
Shy is sad.
We'll see.
Meanwhile, Lilac going to go take the Gromp as well. So top side of the map is Lilac's. We saw this from Someday the other day.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty amazing farming done by these top lane Hecarims with Smite.
And because he has that Saber already, he will be getting that 30 extra gold per camp. Meanwhile, Shy has the Smite, but won't be getting extra gold until he picks up a Machete.
Yeah. Wow, you can just get so much. I mean, Hecarim moves around the map so quickly, too, that you can duck in, take all this stuff, and still get back to tower to pick up the wave.
Hecarim's extremely good with Teleport Smite, that's for sure.
Yep.
We're probably going to see a lot more of the Hecarim bans that we saw in Game 1 today, simply because it's very difficult to stop him from getting to that late game super tank backline destruction status.
And that Sheen is going to do a lot of bursts onto Lilac, too.
There's pretty much no risk, right? You just have to walk into the enemy jungle. If you see them, the enemy team bottom side, or their jungler, if you have good information on that, and you could just walk into the enemy jungle, go ahead and take it, and there's not really a whole lot that they can do about it. If you have to be overextended, you could just go into your own jungle, so you can continue farming without a big risk of getting ganked.
Oh, knock up onto Coco. He gets silenced as well. And yeah, Coco getting that kill is pretty important. Looks like he's going to be going for Rod of Ages here. Picked up the Catalyst. And here comes Mad Life. All right, just kind of making his presence known in the mid lane. Going to help maybe push this up a little bit. See if Coco wants to go back and buy, or if they want to just contest this blue buff. Looks like they will. Ambition is already there. Ares doing what he can. Looks like Ares did pick up that blue after all, though. But that means it didn't go to Frozen.
How did Ambition miss that? He had Smite up. He smited first, and Ares smited second, and he has Consume. There's not really a lot of excuse for that one, Ambition. It should have been his for sure.
I don't know. Well, maybe we'll see the replay.
But regardless, it doesn't really matter if it's on Nunu, or it certainly doesn't matter really if it's on Rek'Sai. So the point is just get it away from Frozen, and that has been successful with Coco picking his buff up, and there is
meanwhile
Space dying to the level 6 all-in. You have to be super careful about that. That is so what we talked about in Champ Select. The level 6 all-in from Ken and Graves is very strong. Space farming too far up. Mad Life wasn't even there.
Let's watch Space immediately die.
Mad Life had gone back, and here's Space walking up. Oh,
nice engage.
Nah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that. He should not have been anywhere near that wave. Big mistake from Space.
Tucson took full advantage of it. Mad Life's like, I leave for 5 seconds. Typical. Support life. Oh, he nearly got Sonstar. At least he delayed the recall a bit.
Yeah, that was the main function of doing that. Well, Cinderhulk already done for Lilac. Meanwhile, Shy going back right now and picking up nearly a Phage. It's going to be a while till he gets that Trinity Force, however.
think you should have maybe sold that Doran's Blade to finish the phage. Probably could have.
Nah.
Not yet.
You want that extra tankiness. And at least a little bit of sustain from the life steal early on. And Ares is here with the Raptor buff, just quickly clearing out a ward, but not a whole lot else. Lobby Boots done on Tucson after he got that kill. Meanwhile, we're still waiting for them on Mad Life. And Frozen's had a really good time farming in this mid lane, accruing a pretty significant lead right now.
That's true. I mean, CJ is kind of putting themselves in the position where they put themselves in a lot, which is where they'll have to live and die by their team fighting later on in the game.
They're not that far behind right now. They are.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of their plan, you know.
Yeah. They have the first dragon as well, so 1,000 gold down, but with the dragon, so there's not really a big timer on that for them. The big question is if they're going to be able to deal with Frozen if he gets too tanky, because Hecarim and Cho'Gath and Rek'Sai are not going to be easy to deal with in terms of taking them out. Now, Coco does have that percent HP if people are standing on it, but
Well, they don't really have a way to stop them from coming in, though. That's kind of the thing. I really feel like the Orianna would have been a better pickup.
well, yeah, certainly.
Well, then Malzahar, yeah, but just like in general, it would have fit well
But
against
then
what they were trying
how
to
would
do.
they style, Doa?
That is true. That's a big important question for this match. You need to be able to style. You have to pick Malzahar sometimes for that. And I am going for the second dragon. We'll see if CJ can stop them.
I don't think CJ wants to stop them. I think they're happy just taking the top tower right now and getting Jax even further ahead.
It shouldn't matter
The
too
goal
much.
of this composition should be to power up Shy right here, and if he can take the turret, then he's going to get a lot of gold for himself, as well as the global gold. So it's a very worthwhile trade.
Oh,
Meanwhile, Kennen will die.
Yeah, they just caught Tucson, I guess.
Yeah, found him. Mad Life hit him with an
Oh,
ult.
wow, they're going to get the turret too in
It's
bot
huge.
lane. Man.
Yeah, big gold swing now in favor of CJ Entus as they take down 2 towers, all of a sudden swinging the gold by about 2,000.
Yeah, giving up that dragon was definitely
Actually, like
worth it.
2,500 moreover. So they are doing very well by giving up that dragon, and Shy should be quite wealthy when he goes back. Will he be able to complete the Trinity Force? Nope. Just finishing that phage for the moment.
Yep, probably not too far off.
He was actually very close. He had dagger and boots.
Yep. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Oh, I see. A little bit of
Really?
a Sivir engage there, and Mad Life with another nice hook.
Cute use of the vision.
Yep.
Just a pop around the corner. Well set up by CJ Entus. Tucson really not expecting that to come in.
Well, they've been so good at that recently, is setting those traps, you know? That's been kind of the
Yeah,
major story.
Their team coordination has been very good, too. They're able to quickly formulate a plan and then
Right.
all execute on it. We saw that done very well around the Thresh Lanterns in the last game. So CJ really working well as a unit these days.
Yeah,
It's about time they came together right before the playoffs.
for now.
For now.
For now.
Now that we think they're good, they're going to be bad.
Yep, it's true.
The CJ law of inverse skill is going to come into full effect.
Somebody on Twitter described it as Schrodinger's CJ. You can never tell if they're good or bad. They're kind of at the same time both because you really can't see it.
Oh no, we could definitely see it.
Well, can we really?
Yes.
Because they look good right now, but are they good? Looking something and being something are different things, Monty. Oh, Shy. There's a Chilling Smite. Jumps to the ward, trying to get out. Pops that ultimate. Nice stun onto Lilac. That may save his life. There's a knockup, though. That may end his life. Trying to get away. Wow, he makes it. Shy just swag walking out of top lane there. And Rek'Sai coming down to try to defend mid lane. It looks like they'll be able to do it.
Yeah, good move by Ares. Making sure they can defend that tower. Lilac actually going full tank Hecarim. I do not agree with this. You need to be
There
able
it is.
to counteract the split pushing of this Jax. And by going full tank, you also are not going to be able to get into the backline and abuse Malzahar and Sivir.
Right.
And you need that damage. They need damage right here because with the Cho'Gath in the mid lane, they have tankiness already, but they have to have some more damage down because Sunstar's playing Graves, and Graves is bursty, but he's not going to be able to deal with the tankiness of a Nautilus, Jax, and Nunu in the late game. They have to have more damage.
Well, at this point, Shy has his Trinity Force done, too, so he should be able to win 1v1s against
Lilac-
Hecarim really
Yeah,
easy
Lilac
now.
can't get anywhere close to him,
Yeah.
at least until he finishes that Frozen Heart.
It's going to be a little while.
Yeah, it really, really is going to be a while. In the meantime, whether Shy will have a Blade of the Ruin King or what exactly he's going to go for next.
Blade would probably be not too bad. Maybe he'll go for that Skirmisher Saber with Warrior Enchant too.
Probably not Warrior Enchant.
No? Oh, Cinderhulk, right.
Yeah, probably going to go with Cinderhulk here.
You go all out, man. You go Warrior. Cinderhulk is better.
It's just great for split pushing as well.
Yeah, well, it makes you so much tankier too. I mean, you'll be able to survive so much longer in team fights as a top lane carry, you know. Oh, flash engage onto space. He's going to spell shield it. Oh, still got stunned though.
And now
Makes
they're going
it
to turn
out.
it around.
Yeah, here comes Mad Life, ult onto Sansar right away. Meanwhile, support versus carry duels on both sides. Mad Life, though, winning his against Sansar. Look at that, bring him in. And here comes Shy coming down with the teleport. Double knockup, though. I am trying to turn it around, and CJ will trade 1-for-1. Shy barely still alive now. Space coming down to try to support him. Ares is going to go ahead and flash over for that kill.
Here comes Ambition and Coco, though.
Yep. It was 2-for-2. Will CJ be able to turn this one around? There's absolute zero space. Still fairly low health. Ares and Frozen pretty tanky, but Ares is low. He's going to make it out for now. There's space. Yeah, he just can't fight this too much.
Malzahar is so bad against Cho'Gath, so he started the channel on his ultimate and got knocked up. He can also just get silenced. There's almost no way Coco's going to be able to get an ult off in this game.
I don't know. I really don't know why people would pick Malzahar right now in League of Legends.
He could get knocked up. He could get stunned by Kennen, knocked up by Rek'Sai, knocked up or silenced by Cho'Gath,
the only
kicked backwards or ulted by Hecarim. Like, there's almost no situation that Coco is going to be able to ult somebody.
The only legitimate reason now is if you're playing Earth and you're going 80 Malzahar. That's about it. That's about it.
It's just especially against this team composition, it's bad.
It's pretty fun to watch, though.
Is it? He's not doing anything.
Yeah, in sort of like a kind of funny train wreck sort of way, sure. He's got his Rod of Ages, man. The stacks are stacking. Look out. Ooh, and a needlessly large rod now, too. The damage is coming in.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. CJ pushing through this mid lane again. They've got both the other outer turrets knocked down already. Frozen is starting to get a bit scary, though.
Yeah, they don't have ults on a couple members, jungle and support for CJ, though, so they have to be a little bit careful with how they play this one out. They also do not have port on Shy, so Shy has to be able to walk into that bottom side, and he's already got that dragon. Wow, doing it really quickly.
Yeah, looks like they're going to trade that dragon for mid turret. Maybe not even that. Yeah, I am a little bit scared.
Ults are back up. They can fight this.
Yep, Sivir pops her ult. They're going to go in. A flash hook. He doesn't quite get onto Sansar, though. Meanwhile, Tucson comes in for a pretty good engage. Looks like Mad Life will go down. Tucson goes down in exchange. Shy gets in the back lines, able to take out Rek'Sai. Now Lilac fighting for his life, 1v4. Doesn't work out too well, and there's a snowball now onto Sansar, slowing him down. Shy trying to get in range for the stun. There it is, and there goes Sansar. Looks like we might have an ace here. There's a snowball to slow up Frozen. That sounds ironic, but that's just reality now for IM. They are dead, only losing Mad Life in that one. Pretty good fight for CJ.
Having a giggle right there at that team fight. Shy picking up a bunch more assists.
Oh, yeah.
Over the course of that as well. Now just heading out to push out the top side. Looks like he will be going probably for Bombi Cinder next. So Mad Life starting this fight right now. Mad Life ulting Tucson immediately. Coco already caught right here, but Space on the side. Able to kill Tucson nearly instantly.
Look at Shy, though.
Well, Lilac doesn't do any damage.
Yeah.
So there's not anything he can really do in this situation. And he went after Mad Life, which is not the carries. So I guess you could take out Mad Life, but you get focused down by Shy in that situation. And they're able just to use that movement speed from the Blood Boil to follow it up. Shy gets feasted, but it's just barely not enough to kill him.
Yeah. It's pretty much how you would expect some of those team fights to go.
Well, there's Cinderhulk. Shy just finishes it right in one shot at enough money.
Yeah, he just buys it straight up. Had to sell his boots to get it, but still. It's worth it. Worth, right? Hashtag worth, all caps.
Did have to send his
Put it in all chat. Yep.
That's hilarious. He's like, well, I got boost speed from Trinity Force now, so
Exactly.
who needs boots? And also Nunu.
Yeah, you've got that Phage.
I've got a Nunu too.
Yes. So he's perfectly fine
I've
selling
got
those
Phage,
boots.
I got Zeal, I have a Nunu. I don't need boots. No boots for Shy.
Yep. Sometimes you just got to sell those boots.
Barefoot Jacks.
Yep. Sounds like a EDM band, doesn't it?
It does.
Yep.
Where's his head at?
That's right. Barefoot Jacks. Oh, IM's like, wait a second. Something fishy's going on near the Baron pit. They're getting some vision. It'd be a pretty early Baron. CJ's not going to do it right now, obviously, but it does pull IM away from that bot lane. The danger is too great.
Shy took red
Oh,
buff.
hi, Lilac. Hi, Lilac.
Another tool for him to use in the upcoming team fight. Get right back onto Jax. Jax is really the only legitimate damage source right now.
Coco is going to come through in the end, don't worry. He's 2-1 and 3, man. He's got 2 kills already. I am pushing up this mid lane. Yeah, Shy is just a split pushing terror right now. And he's got teleport in case they need him. Oh, Ares going deep. They're going to go in onto Coco. Nice engage. Coco's feared as well. They're going to take him out immediately because he's Malzahar. Meanwhile, Madlife turns around to hook onto Tucson, but CJ needs to back off from this one. Shy cancels his teleport. He's like, yeah, good luck, guys.
Yeah, but are they going to get 2 tier 2s for their
so.
trouble in this 1-3-1? Now, Malzahar able to wave clear at the very least, so they do force that dive. They use a lot in order to take him down. Only Ambition left right here. Ambition also has Chilling Smite. It would actually be much better in a 1-3-1 if Ambition had the Ranger's Trailblazer. So he could AoE smite some of these camps away, but that's not in the cards for right now, but something that probably if they were going to 1-3-1 like this, they should have considered, because it is hard to hold without Coco there. But at the end, they get 2 tier 2s for a tier 1, so big win for CJ Entus. Now they're going to try and Baron.
It's still a 5,000 gold lead. They're still way ahead. Oh, but hiding. Here comes Lilac. They're going to jump onto him. There's the stun. A lot of damage loaded up immediately. Can Lilac outrun them? Doesn't look like it, and that's going to be a buff going over to Shy as well, too.
Yeah, no ult on Lilac right there from the tower dive, so he is focused down quite easily. Can't get away from that Sivir ult, and the Jax hot on his tail.
Shy picked up double buffs from that, too, I believe. CJ with a pretty quick Baron. Ares and Tucson trying to get back in time, but Tucson with no slicing Maelstrom, no ultimate. There's no engage for IM right now.
And they can do Baron so quickly. They have Jax, Nunu, and this Malzahar that actually does do quite a bit of damage to that Baron, so easily taken.
At least he does damage to something. He's about to finish his death cap,
Malzahar
though.
pick is so bad.
Are we in? We're kind of like going into the Lee's Rengar zone here, where it's like he's undefeated, man. It's a strong pick.
At least he didn't die as many times as Lee's
that's
Rengar did. His KDA isn't terrible, but that doesn't mean he's actually doing things in team fights.
Like, Coco is trying to play this well, you know, and he's doing about as good as he can, whereas Lee just, like, played a good champion very badly. Coco is trying to play a bad champion about as well as you can.
Yeah,
There's a
really
difference.
difficult. Well, it will be Frozen Heart for Shy right now, lowering those cooldowns. Won't really synergize with his Cinder Hulk, but still a great item on Jax overall, and he decides he doesn't need more damage, doesn't want the lifesteal, just wants the tankiness instead. That's what he's going to get.
Ambition is 007 right now, man, sneaking through the enemy jungle, and his KDA it is actually 007 right now. Yeah. I wasn't exaggerating.
Okay, well, Shy going to resume the split pushing with the Baron. Not sure how committed CJ can be to this 1-3-1, considering that Nunu, Malzahar, Nautilus is not a great combination to hold mid with.
Shy doesn't have a teleport yet either, too. They're just going to take Dragon anyway, though. Tucson tries to throw something in at the end, but doesn't end up helping. Oh, Frozen. I was going to say, if he keeps going, I mean, he'd apparently like to die. But CJ just going to continue pushing up the mid lane now. 3 dragons to the 1 of IM. And now Shy is nice and close if they need him for a team fight, too.
Here we go, pressure coming in.
That's right. Well, okay, a little bit of damage. Ares.
Oh, he
takes a
actually got
lot.
an ult off.
Wow, suppressed to death. He did. Congratulations, there's your one Malzahar successful ult of the game, Coco. Way to go. And they're going to take an inhibitor off of that. There goes the inhibitor turret. Madlife throws out the anchor, forces a flash from Frozen, and CJ just going to rotate to a different lane now, making it look really easy.
Well, it is pretty easy
Yes, it
when
is
you
for them,
have
yeah.
8,000 gold lead and
a
you are-
Malzahar.
and you have a Baron buff.
And a Malzahar.
No, Doa, that's not why they're
It's
winning.
mostly Malzahar, really. I'd say it's about 95% Malzahar.
Don't do this to me, Doa. Now there are going to be people on Twitter like, Malzahar was a good pick.
Yeah.
And then I have to read
Seriously.
that. It has to actually enter my brain as a thought. And
I'm
I
sure
don't,
people are already
I don't,
saying it.
I don't want that in my brain, Doa.
Look at he's 3-2-3. What a great pick this has resulted for CJ. Very smart to grab that one. Shy, chilling smite. Oh, he's going to leap right into the clutches of Tucson, which luckily aren't very big, so he's going to get away. Next is support Malzahar. He'll be back.
I would honestly prefer that.
I played it. It's fun. It's not that good.
Malzahar,
It is fun.
Mad Life going for the Righteous Glory. Maximum Nautilus engage now.
Yeah,
Good
makes sense.
times. Also another banner of command for
Hey.
Ambition.
All right. Use it in the mid lane. Is he going to? He already did use it, didn't he?
No, he wouldn't use it in the mid lane because there are
Oh.
super minions there. He probably used it. Well, he used it one
Oh,
of the
we
side
probably
lanes.
used it on top, yeah. Or bottom. I don't know, man. Those buffed super minions look pretty intimidating. Or melee minions.
It's true.
They become super. Look at that. Look at how he owned that blue buff. Malzahar is awesome.
Truly the greatest champion
He's-
in League
he's-
of Legends.
He's building
Let's
Rylai's
nerf him.
now.
Let's nerf him. Honestly, he should.
It's a good. It's
That's
a good
actually
item.
the best item he can build right
Yeah.
now because he's not going to be reliable in terms of damage, so he might as well just try and peel with AoE. Slows.
Get that void staff afterwards, and then the damage will be done.
All right, Ambition here.
Oh. But never sell that Doran's ring. Never do that, Coco. You need it. One ring to rule them all, right? Oh, there's a flash engage from Tucson. Gets a pretty good one, but he's on his own. Ares and Frozen trying to come in, and here comes Lilac from behind. I am trying to turn this one around, but CJ just way too strong. Look at Shy getting into the back lines all over Sonstar. Gonna force him right out of the fight, and CJ turning this one around, just taking a romp through the enemy base right now. They lost Coco. Even on that amazing Malzahar pick, they managed to somehow take him out, but in the end, CJ is going to get another inhibitor.
Yeah, Shy is just way too strong right now to deal with. And this Hecarim doesn't have the tools to actually take out the carries, so Shy was able to dive, zone off Sonstar very nicely, and they're transitioning immediately into the top. All inhibitors must go down for CJ today, apparently.
All inhibitors must die. But first, we have to go back and buy.
Why not? Baron's coming up again, though. Just go for that Baron.
Yeah. Need to make Malzahar stronger. Uh-oh, Shy's in trouble here. Trying to leap, strike his way out, and he does. Just burning that very low cooldown ultimate, so no big deal there. Ooh, looks like a elixir picked up for Coco.
It's exactly what he needed.
Still can't give up that ring, though. No way.
That ring is too valuable.
It is.
3,000 HP Malzahar.
I've seen him when he doesn't notice anyone's watching, and he's like, my precious. I'm like, Mal, are you okay, Coco? And he's like, his face gets all scary, his teeth get really pointy for some reason for a moment. He's like, ah. He's like, oh, sorry.
I'll never question it again.
Sorry. I'm sorry I didn't sell my Doran's ring when I could have. It's okay. We'll take that ring to Mount Doom for you, Coco. It's fine. No problem. Monty and I got this. Yeah. We're very resilient to the ring's effects, you know.
It's true.
Yeah.
I sell it anytime I have an opportunity to. I'm like, I got to get
me
rid of these
too.
things for wards.
Me too. I need the money. I just need to buy more damage on support. Because I've already got a Sight Stone, obviously.
You do the bare minimum, getting a Sightstone, check.
Yeah.
That's when the death cap comes
If you
in.
have a Sight Stone, that makes you support. Then you can just build damage. And here we go. CJ coming in. Ambition just basically high-fiving everyone on IM before backing off a moment. Then they go on to Ares there. Tucson trying for the counter-engage. Ambition slowing people with that absolute zero. They're going to take out Ares. Now Lilac in the back lines. And despite that burst from Sonstar, he does not get to stick around to do anything else. Space still alive. Shy just chases Frozen all the way back to the fountain. And CJ is more than ready to end this one after not losing anybody in this final team fight. Grabbing onto Frozen immediately is Mad Life. They're going to still try to get this kill. Nope, bring it around. Let the Cho'Gath live. Let him witness the end of IM, and maybe it will be. As the Nexus goes down, CJ Entus with a quick 2-0. Not a surprising result. Mad Life with another couple stellar games. You know they're going to give that MVP to Coco's Malzahar, though. It was
please,
It was so good.
I'm done, Doa.
It
if
made
that's the
such
case.
a big difference.
No, they're going to give it to Shy for Jax. Don't be silly. It's
the old-
a Shy trademark
It
champion.
was the old Malzahar switcheroo. Yeah, it was
Well-
5-3 and 6 on Malzahar, you know. What a nice Mad Life drawing.
That was, yeah.
Poor Lilac. Poor IM.
Well, that's going to be the end of their season.
Yes, it will, and a good season it was not. It was very, very bad.
Rough time. Well, hopefully during the offseason they can work on some of their synergy issues.
Yeah, maybe some roster changes.
We'll see what they have cooked up for next time around, or at least for the qualifiers in terms of our up and down matches.
Yep.
And CJ moves into the playoffs, styling a little bit.
Yeah, and why not? Why not put on a show for the fans when you've got nothing on the line and you just want to have a little bit of fun?
Indubitably.
But then you make Ambition play Nunu 2 games. You're like, we're going to have fun, but you have to play Nunu. He's like, oh, okay.
Every jungler's favorite champion to play. Not boring at all.
He's like, you move me to the jungle and then you let the mid laner play Malzahar? Come on, guys. Can I play something fun? Can I?
Especially on his
Kha'Zix again, maybe?
3-year pro player anniversary. He
I
doesn't
know.
even get anything special.
Forced to play second support, basically. He's like, guys, I used to play Kha'Zix in the jungle a lot. Can I? No, Nunu, both games. Poor guy. Oh well. Mad Life with a great series, 1, 2, and 9 on that Nautilus.
Yeah, he's been really showing up the past few weeks.
Yes, he has.
The glimmers of his former self.
Yeah.
Are they here to stay? I hope so.
More than glimmers, full-on flashbacks, man.
I hope it's permanent. I hope he's
too.
coming back.
Yeah, looks good. Tentatively, and we always have to say looks good with a bit of an asterisk, you know, and then at the bottom it says until they're bad. But right now, CJ is good.
Going to the playoffs strong, that's for sure. Definitely favored in that first round. And
Shy, of course. Of course, 2, 1, and 6. Couldn't be bothered to be in a lot of those team fights, you know, only about half the kills. Had to go in split push, and he did it quite well. 436 GPM still.
pretty nice stuff. And great play here using that Sivir ultimate. Lilac having no ult to get out of this one, so he just gets chased down
Yep, gives those double buffs over to Shy too, which is pretty nice.
in the end. And yeah,
Shy had really good flanks in this
look
game.
how well he works with Ambition too.
Yeah.
On the side, just making use of that absolute zero. And Lilac has no damage, so he can't take anybody else out in the back line. And then there you go, Songstar. It's hit by a snowball and just gets run down by Shy eventually with the help from Space's Boomerang Blade. And there's the stun. Frozen does nearly kill him, the
Yeah,
Feast, but
he came close.
can't quite finish it off.
It was too big of a feast for even Cho'Gath to eat in one sitting. And so, now, gonna have to wait to see CJ again until their playoff match versus Jin Air.
And you know, Jax with this new smite, if you can get him fed even faster out of those jungle camps, could be quite strong. Not exactly sold on it because you can't get the Skirmisher Saber quite as quickly. And still be a threat. Does, I think, have to go for that Trinity Force first, but maybe we'll see a little more.
And now an MVP interview. Mad Life and Shy with Barry translating for us. Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to go into our MVP interviews with Mad Life on Thresh from Game 1, and then Shy on Jax Game 2. Now CJ has just finished the regular season after beating IM. Round of applause. And let's talk with Mad Life first. Hello? Hello, hello, hello. So you've gotten MVP 4 games in a row. How do you feel? I managed to pick Thresh, after a while. I'm not playing it, and then I'm glad that I was able to bring it out again, and it's fun to win. Now, coming into the latter half of the season, it seems like you really like kind of started to play a lot better. How's that? I think it's because of the loving care of my coaches. Well, is the fact that you've locked in a playoff position, is that kind of like lessen the burden of like performing well on you? Does that help at all? And he says, well, yeah, no. Well, I think it helps a little bit, and I can just like play however I want, and then just without worrying too much. And I think it's been helping me out a lot. Now, you guys got first blooded in game 1. So during that whole skirmish, Lee Sin was pathing through mid lane and then just got killed by Coco. What happened during that? And I don't really remember that much about it besides that Coco just shouting that I kill Lee Sin, I kill Lee Sin. So yeah, I think they were just they weren't thinking super straight. Yeah, you also, right in front of Dragon, you try to save Ambition, and then Ambition managed to drag in 2 other members of IM, and then both of you died. Did Ambition say anything when that happened? I don't remember that well. I gave him the lantern, and I was like a little bit scared when as I was doing it, and when we both died.
Guess you should have
And
been.
I decided to myself that I'd have to think a little bit more carefully when I throw the lanterns out to help them out.
He's got Iron Man's hand. I mean, that's Blitzcrank.
Did you say anything to him? Well, just that happens, I guess. Like they have characters that follow you. So if I hadn't thrown it to him, I probably wouldn't have died. So I regret that a little bit. Now, during the team fight in front of the 3rd dragon, you managed to make a big play and then catch out Frozen. What gave you the confidence to do that? Did you know that you would land that hook? Well, I did see him. Like, he was visible. And Xerath is that. Well, Xerath is if you manage to cut him off properly, then you can kill him fairly well. So I just managed to go for the flank, and I got him. So when you go for plays like that, do you have like an idea of like the percentage of like confidence of like you're gonna hit that? And well, if I miss, I don't really think about that much. If I miss, I just think about the next play. It's like, how can I not miss? So don't really want to think about that. So you're gonna play Jin Air in the playoffs in the next. Is there a player on Jin Air that you don't want, like you're watching out for? Well, there's no specific player. Well, and in that next match, I'll hook them all in. So don't, keep watching us. So yeah, thank you, Mad Life, and we'll look forward to your performance against Jin Air Green Wings. And let's meet our second MVP, Shy. It's been a while since you carried on Jax. How do you feel about your victory? Well, the coach was just like, let's try out Jax, and we just decided on the fly that let's do it. So I don't think I played all that well, and I think I just got it because it was like a popular pick. So. Well, I thought, you guys picked Jax because you wanted to play it Shy, and it seems like it wasn't. And Shy says, well, we just kind of did it because it was almost like we just decided like on the fly that we were gonna do it. So did you think at the beginning of today, you're like, I'm going to pull out a signature champion, I'm going to get MVP? Did you think that at all? And he says, no, not at all. Is there a reason why you took Smite? Oh, or the Malzahar pick as well. And so, you guys picked, we were like, yeah, let's pick Jax, and ended up being, okay, I'll just pick Malzahar then. And we just kind of rolled along with that comp.
Right, the classic Jax Malzahar comp. Right.
So is that a comp that he had like practice? He's like, well, no, not really.
I sincerely hope they have not been using their time to practice that.
These coaches.
The pocket Malzahar pick, you never know. It's deadly.
It was so good that game.
Well, I didn't really think about, maybe giving away a couple of picks playing today, and we have a lot of picks ready for the playoff matches. So I just want to say, we still have deep champion pools. We got stuff to show. So beginning season, after the preseason, there wasn't a lot of expectations for CJ to do well. Now coming out of the regular season, there's a lot of expectation for you guys to do well. So how do you guys feel about that? And I thought about that a lot. Well, and our coach and head coach, take care of us a lot. So, they take care of us like family, and then, and I think that kind of like helped us kind of develop over the season. So you guys finished the regular season. Do you have something you want to say to the coach? And yeah, coach, we've been with you for a while, and then it's your birthday. I want to say happy birthday. And let's keep working well together. Let's keep going forward. And now you have the playoff. The playoffs are going to start soon. And do you have any words going into the playoffs? And last time we faced Junior, we managed to destroy them pretty easily. So next time we're gonna show the same performance, and we're gonna move on. And yeah, that concludes our MVP interview with the CJ MVPs. I'm gonna hand it back to Monty and Doa.
All right, thanks for the translation, Barry. And so there you have it, a 2-0 for CJ Entus over IM. No big surprise there, but a fun match to see regardless. It was all about that Malzahar picking game, too, wasn't it? Yeah, pretty much confirmed. Yeah. Confirmed on Riot Games' very stream.
Well, like you said, expected result, the 2-0 for CJ Entus, and they didn't have to show a lot heading into the playoffs, mostly just going with champions we knew they played, or at least champions they also won't be playing in the playoffs.
Knew they played years ago and now suddenly play again. And so again, another look at our standings, which haven't moved and won't move, but CJ in a comfortable third place. And I gotta say, with the way that CJ's been playing against the way that Janair's been playing, I think CJ's pretty favored going into that match in the playoffs.
Right, and while you're looking at this, of course, SK Telecom, if they lose, they will still win the tiebreaker based on points accrued. So it doesn't matter if they have the same overall record as CJ Entus. And here are our matches tomorrow.
Tomorrow, GE Tigers versus SK Telecom T1. Again, a match that has no impact on the standings, but man, it's going to be a fun one. Both of these teams know that this match tomorrow could be like a preview of the grand finals. So I think we're going to see some pretty crazy stuff. I think we're going to see a fun one for the fans, for sure.
I'm interested to see if both of those teams don't take it seriously, if just one of them try hard. I don't really know what's going to happen, but it could be a little bit odd.
I think SK Telecom is probably more likely to kind of have fun with it,
We'll find out, of course. Yeah, and then seeing Najin might be interesting again, too, depending on which lineup they use. They haven't been looking too good, but not a lot of motivation right now. They are safe from the up and down matches.
Right.
And we do know Samsung is heading down there already. So.
Well, Najin is just in a position where they have this time where, like you said, there's no worries. They can just really experiment before the next season. Find a roster that works, find a style that works. And it feels like, with Peanut and Tank, once those guys get a bit more practice, they're going to have a pretty solid roster coming into summer.
Yeah, they definitely have to look to next season, but their results right now, not too impactful, so take it easy. Maybe some fun games there as well, depending on what they and Samsung want to do. So should be a good day. Should be a good day of LoL. Hopefully we'll get some crazy picks.
I hope so. I think we will. I mean, usually when it comes to this point in the season and the games don't matter in the standings, the teams really do know how to have fun. So I think we will see some stuff. A new Teemo skin just came out, so you never know. Although it's been a while since Makanoon's been in our league. He was really like the troll Teemo of the Korean scene.
It's true. We won't see too many troll Teemos anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Doa and Monty from Seoul, South Korea, with Champions Korea, of course. Thanks for watching. We'll see you the day after, or see you tomorrow, actually, for our final matches of the regular season. Don't miss it. We'll see you then.